Fox News alert, it's infrastructure week in Iran. Their coastline's getting hammered. We're cutting off power and took out some major bridges, snapping their supply lines in half. Iranian state media is reporting their key railway station's a fireball. That station handles over 100 million tons of cargo a year from the Strait. It also sends oil to China. Now, that's not all. Last night, we took out command centers, air defenses, missile and drone sites, and coastal surveillance facilities all up and down the enemy coastline, and even hit targets deep inside near their capital. The blockade's holding strong. Today, Marines boarded a vessel, MT Wen Yao, in the Gulf of Oman to ensure compliance. Since the wall went back up, one blockade runner was disabled with a Hellfire missile. 3 turned around. This phase of the operation all comes down to controlling the Strait. Iran's calling it their invincible red line. Now, it's our red line, too.
We're hitting them very, very hard. We're hitting every single thing that they have along the shore, along the waterfront. You know, if you look at the Strait of Hormuz, it's now, we're finding it hard to find where they have anything. We have to stop it. We have to keep it open.
Heavy airstrikes are pushing the enemy back so they can't send drones into the Gulf. But this may require a ground assault to secure strategic islands. Axios reporting that the president was briefed again on options for Karg Island.
It's like sometimes you need a ground campaign, but we have other people that will do the ground campaign for us. But we already hit Karg Island, as you know, twice. Even 3 times. I said, hit everything but the oil. Just leave that little area from 25 yards out. Leave that little area. Don't touch the oil, because I don't want that in terms of the world economy. It's a chunk of the world economy. So we haven't hit that. At some point we could, but I think it's unlikely. As far as taking it is concerned, if we degrade them far enough and deep enough back, I would do that.
So now it's a pain game. Now, they're only concerned with regime survival. Their calculation is if they can't control the Strait, they can't survive. So this is a key moment. Now, the more Trump escalates, Iran's going to unleash whatever they have left at the Gulf states' oil infrastructure, maybe get the Houthis involved, put the Red Sea in play, and make economic pain sting. But the commander-in-chief knows he has to finish the job. That could mean knocking the whole country's lights out, or another round of decapitation strikes. Iran's already failed the test. We gave peace a chance. The president now seems very determined to expand the war and end it on his terms. General Jack Keane's our Fox News senior strategic analyst. General, what we're hearing about what's taking place with these bridges and the railways on the coast, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, well, what's taking place here, there's 3 pieces to this operation. The first 2 were going on for several days, and now they've added a third one, which is what you're mentioning. The first one deals with taking down all of the capability that the Iranians have to interfere with the Straits of Hormuz. So that's missiles, drones, fast boats, command and control, radar, sensors, logistics support for it as well. And then the second thing that they're doing now is isolate the Straits. That's why they're taking out bridges and rail lines. And there's always been an attempt, and they're doing some of this, to isolate Iran itself from its neighbors, because it's been getting support from those neighbors, and that it pushes actually oil out to the neighbors as well. So some of those border countries, the Iran on the border countries, some of those rail lines and bridges are being taken out, and they also support the Straits. So yes, the isolation of the Straits has taken place as part of it. And then the thing that you mentioned, retaliation. Part of this operation is comprehensive attacks against the means for Iran to retaliate. Gulf states, U.S. bases in the region. They have not brought Israel into it because you know why. Israel would respond very aggressively if they attacked them. But what does that mean? It means ballistic missiles primarily, and also drones, long-range drones. And those ballistic missiles, that we're likely rubbling the tunnels, the entrance to those tunnels, as we had done before, and they excavated them and brought some of them out. And I'm sure we're doing that. And those that are outside, we're tracking down with drones and then killing them. as well. We're after the launchers primarily, the ballistic missiles themselves, and also the transporters. And that's the means to retaliate, drones as well as ballistic missiles. The more you reduce that, the more they lose the opportunity to have any leverage here whatsoever. They are going to lose complete control of the Straits of Hormuz, and we're going to reduce their capability to interfere with to a bare minimum. That is the path we are on, and based on your read of the situation, I think it's accurate, Jesse. The president will likely expand beyond that. And because he's at a point where he knows in his own mind you cannot make a deal with these guys. They lie, lie, and lie, and he's fed up with it. So I think what we're going to see here is continue this comprehensive plan and then likely some expansion beyond it.
It seems like the politicians in Iran wanted the deal more than the military, and that the military is screwing this whole thing up, and the military might have to be decapitated again. Do you think the president's considering another one of those types of precision strikes on leadership?
Yeah, I've never bought the fact that there's that much of a division. The guy that was ahead of the political side of his Gallup. And look at his best friend in life is Qasem Soleimani.
Yeah.
They joined the IRGC together. They became generals together. He then moved to the diplomatic side and moved away from the military side of the IRGC. Soleimani went on to fame, obviously, and established a professional relationship and a personal one with the Ayatollah, and nobody in between. And he ran, obviously, the entire foreign policy instrument of supporting the proxies. I believe these guys are much more on the same page than people think. They are committed to what Iran has always stood for. Yes, the guys with the guns are in control. I'm not diminishing that. But I think a lot more of the people that we're talking to are really committed to Iran recovering, rebuilding, and going right back to where they were before the war started.
Well,
I'm convinced of it.
You look at this
the president,
recent,
I think, is convinced as well.
Yeah, and I agree. It looks like just the last couple of days, he seems very committed to his objectives as well. Jack Keane, thank you as always. We appreciate it. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.